In the meantime, the drumbeat is intensifying to toughen up laws regarding sexual predators. Suggestions include a one-strike law that would put some sex offenders away for the rest of their lives or have them executed. KUSI's Ed Lenderman is here to sort it all out for us. Ed?
It's not as if we don't have plenty of laws designed to keep predators from doing the unspeakable. But it's also clear, say many experts, they aren't working. The question is, can anything work short of life in prison or execution, which many, in the name of justice for Chelsea, are calling for? Megan's law is designed to tell us where the registered sex offender lives. Jessica's law is designed to keep the offender from proximity to children. But the laws haven't been able to keep hardcore predators from striking again. And critics say Exhibit A is Chelsea King's rape and murder. A decade ago, King's accused killer, John Gardner, brutally assaulted a 13-year-old girl, but served only 5 years in prison. Appearing on KUSI's Good Morning San Diego, County Supervisor Diane Jacob urged our viewers to call and write their state legislators as well as the governor. Jacob is among the advocates of a one-strike law.
If you commit a crime and you're convicted against a child, you either go to prison for life without parole or you're executed. Okay. Secondly, I would like to put microchips, GPS, on every current registered sex offender so we can keep track of them every minute of every day.
Notice Jacob said every offender. Earlier this week, former District Attorney Paul Pfingst pointed out that many registered offenders are not repeat offenders, using the example of a 17-year-old boy who had consensual sex with a 15-year-old girl. 75th District Assemblyman Nathan Fletcher represents Rancho Bernardo and the Lake Hodges area.
Sexually violent predators that prey on children, I do not believe are rehabilitable. I don't think you can rehabilitate that.
It has to be government's mission, he told me by phone from Sacramento, to protect our children.
The question of the one-strikes type situation for sexually violent predators that go after kids and strengthening that provision, I think has got to be step one. And then step two, I think we need to have a serious conversation about lifetime parole with GPS monitoring.
After his release from prison, Gardner wore a GPS device, but only during his probation. There's a worry that a one-strike law will ensnare some offenders unjustly.
A lot of those details have to be worked out. I mean, our focus, the focus of what we're doing is on the sexually violent predators that target children.
But why are there these kinds of monsters in the first place, asked New York lawyer Andrew Vashis. He represents children in court and says society doesn't spend nearly enough time and money on meaningful help for abused children who then become abusers themselves.
I think it's fair to have that be a part of the conversation. But our focus in the aftermath of the Chelsea King incident, really has to remain on making sure our kids are safe.
Example Vashis might use would be that of a 6-year-old boy in an abusive foster home, beaten repeatedly, abused sexually. Is a so-called compassionate society going to have any compassion for him when he turns around and becomes a predator? Well, not when he scars someone else or kills them. Clearly, emotions are running high. We don't want this to happen to any other family. But the answers, say law professors and constitutional experts, are going to have to come in an atmosphere of reason. And they may not be what many of us want to hear. Heather.
Yeah, very complex issue here. But Ed, did Nathan Fletcher get into the process of how the legislature is going to take a look at these laws at all?
Well, only in the context of what he's doing. And he made the point several times during our conversation that his work is just in the investigative stage. His office has talked to the district attorney, the sheriff, etc., gathering various viewpoints. Now, many people in the law enforcement community say laws passed since John Gardner was first arrested a decade ago are working, that these kinds of crimes have been reduced. But it's a zero-tolerance atmosphere we're working in right now.
Absolutely. Ed, thank you for that report.